What is wrong today, Will?
I don't know, man. I just want today to be over.
Bottom left, we have the Terran player. This time not for GIM, but for Startail. He is
Startail Bomber.
He has just been an observer to all of this so far, taking one win in the group. And, of course, his opponent went around the universe twice. He's the alien Protoss from STX. He is
STX Soul Mini.
He's got some sort of energy field around his nexus that causes the camera to go crazy.
You know, one thing that we can say about Mini is that his jersey is awesome. I like the blue.
STX jerseys are there's a lot of them. There's a lot of colors. I actually hope that someone out there goes and takes a picture of every STX jersey that's ever been and puts it together and posts it in the live report thread so you guys can see, because there's a lot and they all look pretty good. I can't think of a bad STX jersey.
Yeah, I really like them. I like this blue that they're using. It's pretty cool.
They have this yellow one. There's a green one as well. And the regular team shirt is pretty nice also. One of my favorite teams in Starcraft 1, in fact. Toss Girl being one of the only female players to be on a pro gaming team in the Pro League.
Well, right now, Bomber starting with CC first here. Going a little bit greedy. He looked like a boss earlier in the booth right there. He has to prove it now, though. The first game that he played today, there was a match against Genius, and he won with this drop. If you remember the game on Cloud Kingdom, he was able to sneak past his opponent's army, and then they had the space race scenario, but Bomber with his defense at the bottom left could take it. Could defend against the push of Genius, and Genius lost everything in his main base, production and economy. So now Bomber is up against another Protoss play. He's up against Mini, who's down a game. If Mini loses here, the chances of him getting into Cortez are slim to nothing.
Yeah, it's going to be really tough for him, obviously. He'll join Genius, being the other Protoss player who's currently 0-2 right now. And when you're 0-2 in a 5-person group, the only way you can get out is a tie situation in which people lose that you can't control. So if you lose here, your ability to get in Codes is no longer under your control.
Exactly. It could happen that we have a tie situation with the 3 players being tied on 2-2. That might happen. It's at this point kind of unlikely, looks pretty unlikely, but there is a chance that it could happen.
It happened with Marine King once.
Yeah, it depends a lot on the outcome here now. But yeah, if Bomber is getting now the second win, then the chances are...
It's not good.
No, not at all.
This Zealot's chances of killing this Marine are pretty good if the probe traps him. Nice micro, though, by Bomber. He pulls back up here. And he's going to have to micro really nicely. With 3 Marines, though, versus Zealot, should be fine. And Many has to turn around. Unfortunate for him, this is a big map that he was not able to pressure the command center first. Reacts, though, by dropping his Nexus down and takes a second gas. Now, the Stalker here makes this a little bit more difficult without a bunker, though, and even the probe is going to be helpful.
Yeah, the Zealot is eventually going to die. Nice micro here by Bomber. He even saves this one Marine. That was really well done. But, I actually thought it would die right now. But yeah, micro so far so good.
He's going to have to make sure he's very careful with which units he sends down the ramp. Well, Mini was not paying attention there. He could have lost a Marine.
Yep.
Either way, now he's down there. He's got the bunker going up. The sentry was pulled back. He had it rallied across originally. How will Mini respond? Will he do a heavy, aggressive follow-up, or is he rather going to try to play this more normally? He did not see the main base, didn't see anything except the 3 barracks. He doesn't know if there's gas. He doesn't know if there's going to be another command center taken in there with no gas.
We have the robotics now as a follow-up for Mini, and he completes his Nexus, so now he can also double chrono boost his probes. And it looks like he's more going for a normal strategy here into a late game. Bomber has one bunker up, and he's already getting, with the gas that he has, can start his tech. He already started a tech lab a little bit earlier. Here comes the second refinery. So now things are shaping up to be a little bit more normal here. Both of them just lost the scouting Harvester, and we have a Harvester count of 29 to 31, which gives Bomber, of course, a bit of an advantage here because he has the extra mule. So if you are on an even work account with a Protoss as a Terran, it's always a pretty comfortable situation for you.
Yeah, that's very true. Now, Mini starts an eBay. Will he go for 2? I don't think he can afford it. You know, there are builds where you try to grab the 2. And I say Mini, but I mean Bomber, of course. Because Mini can't make engineering bays.
Yeah, he can try, but he will most likely fail.
No Dark Archons in StarCraft 2. At least not yet.
Doesn't happen. He's not Zerg either. As a Zerg could actually do it.
Yeah.
Could kill the eBay. It's a little bit useless.
It's not too useful for you, yeah. And I guess it could work for Infestaterrans, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, though.
It would be weird, though. Then they get +6 update.
That would be pretty nasty.
It would be pretty. That sounds
Some people are already talking about how strong Infestaterrans are. I don't know about that.
Really?
Yeah.
I hadn't heard this before.
Some people mentioned it. You know, I was reading a little bit about it.
No, never heard.
Don't know if it's true, if they were strong or not.
Troll mode off. We have Twilight Council here for Mini. And, well, at this point, it certainly looks like he wants to be a little bit more aggressive than we originally thought.
Will the Observer actually see here? He doesn't see the Observer. Bomber does not. He does not scan and kill it, so it's going to get in here and see the timing of the starport, which is really good for Mini to know, because now he knows that he can take a third base without dealing any super fast medevac pressure if he wants to. It
looks more like he goes for the Blink Stalker attack. And I'm a bit curious how this is supposed to work. At this point, I don't really think it will, do you?
I'm not so sure he's going to attack with it. He's going to pressure maybe a little bit. It's also going to help him defend against drops.
Yeah, it would be weird. I mean, pushing out with this, it would be a bit weird, especially with all these scouts now. So I think we will most likely see a third base.
The thing is, what you're saying is true, because it looks like he wants to be aggressive. Normally, people will get Blink to defend drops, but on a map like this, especially a large one, they will get their Robotic Support Bay first, then the Forges.
Okay.
We see the Forges now.
Now he has the double Forge. Yeah, when he started to add additional gateways and everything, it looked a little bit like he was waiting for a timing. I was like, that can't really be it. That's never going to work against what Bomber has on the map. Bomber sees this Observer. He saw it like several times, but he just doesn't deal with it.
Yeah, he just is okay with it, I suppose. He's like, well, you already saw everything. I'm going to let you live for now. I want the money instead.
Bomber is going to be aggressive now, and Mini has to be very, very careful against it.
This is what the Blink is going to be useful for, is to defend against drop play like this.
Yeah, but only if he's able to snipe it, because now we have so many medivacs queued for Bomber that if he actually gets into the main base of Mini, that would be a big problem, especially since the robotic space is miles away.
He will clean up the watchtower now with his Marines, make sure there's nothing there, and he's going to push now, hoping for a little bit of an element of surprise. Scans on the main base, sees the positioning of all the structures. This is very important for him when he tries to figure out exactly the best angle to drop into the main from the third base.
Bomber is getting a third command center now at the low ground, so he really pushes out and uses this timing to establish another base for him at the mineral line directly, which of course helps him so that he doesn't lose any mining time. Armory and the second engineering rig are now coming up as the armor upgrade is being researched, and Bomber is getting a pretty decent lead in this game.
Yeah.
He's looking at a strong army, a good economy, and if Mini isn't careful, he will lose a lot here.
There's not that many sentries, only 3 here, and he could actually lift a lot of units over those force shields with the amount of medevacs he has. Looks like he's just going to split into 2 groups. I don't think Mini is going to be able to defend both fronts. It all depends on these stalkers.
Mini doesn't have an observer there, does he? I don't see one.
He's got one to the left, but it's not in a place that can spot the location where Bomber was initially approaching from. Bomber actually turns around here.
He knows that there's no third base, and he knows that he doesn't have to be aggressive. The worst case scenario for him would be to attempt a drop play, then run into a Blink Stalkers, and suddenly losing like 2 or 3 medivacs with units. He knows that he's in such a great position, has such a lead over his opponent, that he doesn't have to kill him now.
Yeah, he's playing very safe. I would have expected Bomber to at least lift in and try it. And if things went wrong, just pull back and maybe try to attack the natural at the same time. But you're right, he's just pulling back, he's playing safe. The worst case scenario for him is, as you said, he loses medevacs, then finds himself behind because he's already got a pretty good lead, and he has that third command center finished up now.
And we have +2/+2 just started for Mini. Bomber is now on 1-1. Will be in a second. Has also first few Vikings. 4 Vikings, getting an additional 2, attack upgrade, Ghost Academy. He's just getting every single upgrade in the book, every tech that he can afford. And the third base for Mini is now being built, and this is the time when Bomber can attack, because he knows that he can attack the natural, he can attack the third base, or he can go for the main base if he wants to.
The upgrades are even right now. That's going to change pretty soon as Mini is kind of boosting out those forges, as you can see. Cannon goes down to help out. Got to be very careful against Bomber's drop play. He's got 2 Colossi now. The Viking count is at 6. This is a fight the Bomber can't take. The Zealots are at the back, actually.
Oh, and they're stuck. The Zealots are not part of this fight. They're not doing anything, and all those Stalkers that he loses, these are the anti-air units that he needs to take down the Vikings.
Yeah, the Vikings do not care about force shields. A great concave here for Bomber. Mini is getting destroyed here.
He's getting slaughtered.
There's nothing he can do. He's going to find himself in the same score as the other crossplayer genius in this group.
Yeah, definitely. Bomber is walking up the ramp, Stutter steps in, and Mini Mini loses the game with a bit of an underwhelming performance. Bomber now in 2-0. DRG as well. So whoever wins the match between Bomber and DRG is in Code S for sure.
Yeah. Mini, he may have traveled around the universe twice today. May have met some really cool aliens over the 1,000-year period he was in space where he controlled time. And when he came back to Earth, the reality was you just couldn't beat the two Terran players that he faced. Now find himself 0-2.
Yeah, and the next game that we are going to see is going to be another Terran versus Protoss, this time with Genius and Yoda. But if I'm not mistaken, we have a 5-minute break before that, which is actually our first real break today, right?
Yeah. Minus the earlier break we had because of the aliens, and then the coffee break that I had to take very briefly.
Yeah, the coffee break. So I'm not even going to wait for the confirmation. I'm just going to go for it and hope that everything is correct what I just said. So guys, we'll see you after 5 minutes with the next two games. Then we will figure out who goes to Code S, who has been stuck in Code A. The next game should be Genius versus Yoda. See you back in 5.
Tell me afraid to settle like ashes. You say you need a silhouette, and I'm a shadow standing in your way. I bet you find a million there.
Well, guys,
guess what?
Have a break.
We're back.
So,
I actually thought that with the break that we had, with the unintentional break earlier when we had for Mini, now everything would adjust so that we cast 3 games in a series and then we jump to a break like we usually do. But no, that's not the case. We're sticking to the old schedule. Therefore, we'll have a break after the next game, which is Genius against Yoda. I don't think we have an invite yet. No. One of the two is pulling a Mini.
Alright, lobby's been hosted by Heaven. I'm in.
I feel a little bit sorry for all the guys that are now like, okay, awesome. Now I can get my coffee. Now I can get whatever. I can go to the bathroom. They come back and the game might already be over. What's
I
happening?
got kicked out of the lobby. Now I'm like banned from it. I can't join for some reason. I don't know, guys. Like, I'm gonna relog here and hope that that fixes things.
Is it a Friday the 13th?
No,
it isn't,
it's
right?
Like actually Tuesday.
Tuesday, yeah.
And it's also like the 22nd, I think, or 23rd.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Well,
I don't think the lobby is really up. So, well, we logged in again, and I'm not quite sure what we're waiting for, but we're gonna find out soon. Today is downtime day.
Yeah.
Today is downtime day.
I just can't.
Just wait for the invite. That's fine.
I don't think there's gonna be an invite.
They have to invite you. You can just wait for the others to join and join one of them.
I guess so, yeah. I hope so. Maybe I was adopted or abducted by aliens, and then I just like got into a spaceship at some point, and then my memory was altered.
That would explain the hair.
No, I'm pretty sure it was like this before.
Huh? Like this?
Yeah, exactly like that.
Exactly like that?
Exactly.
Oh,
like
wow.
That.
Okay, so once again, we're waiting. We need to come up with a new topic. What do you want to talk about?
We can talk about Heart of the Swarm. We can talk about new units. What are you feeling right now? I think a patch will be out tomorrow with the new UI. Actually, let's talk about that. The new UI, have you seen it? The screenshots?
Yeah, a little bit. I had a look at it, but still, I want to... I'm not sure.
I want to
try. Yeah, exactly. I want to try it out because a lot of the things that I've seen looked pretty familiar to what we had in Warcraft 3.
I really like the idea of everything is so simple on the homepage, because as it is right now, the homepage is basically just this big empty screen that says "Welcome to Starcraft." But now it's going to be changed.
Blizzard is actually doing a lot of better job right now these days with promoting events. For example, DreamHack, WCS Asia. Every single time you log into the client, you know what's going on. And we actually have our invite. So now we are in the lobby. We can get started. And I guess the players are ready to go. Yes, there we are. Yoda against Genius.
Yep. Genius currently 0-2. He's got to take this game. If he loses this one, he's out for sure. There's no way for there to be a tie if he loses this one.
Yeah. And Yoda still has a chance if he wins now.
Yeah, so this is a really important game for both players. If Yoda wins, then he has a pretty decent chance, but if he loses, he's going to be, like Mini and Genius, hoping for some sort of three-way tie.
Yoda has to play Bomber later on, so if he defeats Bomber, he has to hope that DRG wins against Bomber, then he would be in a Code S. A lot of ifs here, but let's see what's going to happen in the game at hand. Genius up against Yoda, another Protoss versus Terran, this time on Abyssal City. He had the GSL Up&Downs Group B. Games are brought to you by Calder and Wolf. The game is live, the Korean casts are ready. Why am I not surprised? There they are. Today everything's off. Is it us or is it them? I don't know.
I think
today is downtime day.
There's something, there's a disturbance in the universe. It must cause my Mini.
I felt the tremble in the force actually.